remember I was trading patterns by then. The time I
Okay.
took the $10 to $32. So I learned the patterns. I felt like I know everything, I know I know what a trader should do. And that's how I took the $10 to $32 and withdrew it. Everything about trading is for free. So I even wonder like how someone buys a course from someone when the thing he's buying you can get it for free, and I think that is why many people take advantage of Forex trading. Like as a beginner, you think it's something that is so complicated, something that you need someone to show you the way. And that might be true, but when it comes to trading, everything is free online and you can research and you can get to learn and understand what is going on. You don't have to depend on people buying their courses. So if you can't manage yourself on a demo, you can't expect to manage yourself on a live account where now the pressure is on. That argument, I know many people argue a lot that demo, it doesn't help. But the reality is demo account helps. I will advise anyone that wants to try and treat demo like live. Use it to collect data and strategy.
Traders, ladies and gentlemen, this is a Top Dollar Trader podcast and I'm your host, Omari Charles. So I had promised you, I'm bringing you legit traders who are doing their legit thing on the market. And today, ladies and gentlemen, I'm joined by this one trader, Sylvester Fx. So he's on and he's going to tell us how he does his thing, but I don't want to speak for him when he's here. But before we get into him, I really want to appreciate and thank all those people who are supporting me and continuing to support me. And you can also do that, by hitting that subscription button so that, I can continue bringing these kind of episodes. So, ladies and gentlemen, having said that, I want to welcome and invite Mr. Sylvester. So, Sylvester, man, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great, Kabisa. Thank you.
Yeah. So first, I really want to thank you for showing up. Thank you for logging in. I appreciate so much. Yeah. So let us just kick this. So I want you, maybe for the few members who may not have an idea who Sylvester is. So give us just a small background about yourself. Tell us maybe where you are, maybe how long you've been on the market, like anything that you may feel, you may want to share.
Okay, my name is Sylvester Chacha, but I usually go by Sylvester Fx. Currently, right now, I've been trading for about 2 years now. And it has been a journey of ups and downs, the struggle that traders just go through. I can't say that that big trader, but I'm working my way up there. It's just a progress pole. I've taken quite some time to learn, to be where I am today. And I'm grateful. So that's me.
Yeah. So it is work in progress, and you've said it is 2 years down the line. But now I want you to take us back to that initial moment, that first moment. How did you even come across the market? And what is this one thing that when you saw the market, when you saw maybe Forex, will feel like, okay, interesting, and feel an urge like, I want to do this thing?
Okay, so if I go back, I can remember there was this time that when I was just scrolling on TikTok like any other person, and then I met this girl called KUG. She was saying how she made about $27,000 in just a few minutes, and I was like, someone can do that. So I got interested, but I didn't really get serious about it. Like any other person, you can do the apps, and so you don't pay that attention. So it took me a while before I got back to it. That's when I started researching, how to make money online. I came out about trading. That's when I remembered, okay, trading. And I went about it and deposited my first $10, took it to $32. And then I withdrew, From there now it became something that I want to do, like once you have seen, even if you know that you didn't have enough knowledge when you made that money, but once it hits in your M-Pesa or your bank account, hit different, and you just want to keep doing it. So I kept on learning, and it wasn't easy, bro. But I just kept on learning, and yeah.
Okay. Now you had somebody making 27,000. Then after a while you were able to deposit some $10, then pushed it to some $30.
Yeah.
From that moment, then to depositing, had you placed yourself in any learning process? Like, had you gained any learning materials? You are now in the markets, then you feel like people can make money, then you are like trying your luck. So what was that process in between discovering Forex and making that first deposit?
Okay, so first of all, by the way, no one has taught me trading. I've just learned by myself, just YouTube and everything. So I don't have anyone to show me that this is the way or anything. So I just went on YouTube like any other person, researched how to trade, what I need to trade. And that's where I even learned how. I remember I will do something, let's say I have an app like MT5, I want to use it. If something I don't get it, I'll go back to YouTube and research, let's say how to log in an account on my MT5. Anything that was a block in my way, I'll go on YouTube, search how to do it, then come back and try, And once you do that, you'll get these people, who now are teaching you the patterns, the everything. And once you start learning the patterns, remember I was trading patterns by then. The time I took the $10 to $32. So I learned the patterns. I felt like I know everything, I know I know what a trader should do. And that's how I took the $10 to $32 and withdrew it. And I remember it was quite a winning streak. And then once the loss came, when I was at $32, I just withdrew. Yeah, so that's how I just learned on YouTube.
So, if pushing the $10 to $30, it was, they call it beginner's luck. You are in the markets, you don't know what's happening. But for whatever reasons, you just buy, then, the market buys. That is interesting. But now, to be successful, or 2 years later, you had, in one point in time, you had to place yourself in that learning process. Now you went into YouTube, you are looking at things here and there. And in fact, talking about going to YouTube, sometimes I see people who are, struggling, even going through scammers, being scammed online in the name of being sold a course. And in the real sense, everything about trading, you can find it online, you can find it on YouTube, and learn for free.
Yeah, everything about trading is for free. So I even wonder, like, how someone buys a course from someone when the thing he's buying, you can get it for free, And I think that is why many people take advantage of Forex trading. Like, as a beginner, you think it's something that is so complicated, something that you need someone to show you the way. And that might be true, but when it comes to trading, everything is free online, and you can research and you can get to learn and understand what is going on. You don't have to depend on people buying their courses.
Yeah, that is very true. Even for me, I'm from the University of YouTube. Like, I never paid, I was lucky that, I was introduced earlier. The person, I was close to somebody who was already doing it, and they introduced me to a free learning process. So people out there should at least take their time to discover other ways instead of, investing into somebody. But also investing to somebody, it is not bad. But now the industry has been, filled with people who are not genuine.
Yeah, a lot of scams.
And those 1 to 3 people are the one who are spoiling the name for. There are genuine people out there, but it is very hard these days to know who is genuine and who is not genuine. But now, coming back to you, like, now going through that YouTube, trying to learn things here and there, like, how long How long did the whole process of learning take you? Like
Okay.
from being a novice, like being a beginner, knowing nothing, then now into your to that level, like you at least have an idea of risk management. You have an idea of a bit of psychology and there. So like the whole process, did it take you until you felt like you are confident now you can do something with the markets?
I won't lie, when you start and you just you get a few knowledge, you feel like you know everything, and you want to start trading. But for me, it took quite a while. I remember there was this day that I funded my account with around $10, and I blew all of it. It's something, I used to do this thing, farming, and I would farm. So the money that I made from farming for 6 months, I deposited some of it on my account, and all of it was gone, and I was so demoralized. And so the learning took around, a lot. I can't give specific time because, trading is a learning process. Every day you learn. You're getting to learn something. Even when you think you know everything, you're getting to learn something. Every level has, it's like you are moving from one level to another. And with that level, you have to learn something to adapt. Let's say you start trading right now a $10 account, and you get at some point in future, now you're trading let's say $100,000 account. The learning you need to manage that account will be different from those small accounts that you are trading. So trading is something that's continuous in learning. I would say to understand what is going on in trading and to really even start taking risk, it will take you around 6 months to a year to really understand the whole game. And that's it.
Very nice, very nice. Yeah, it is a learning process. Each day it's a learning day. Like yesterday is not like today. You experience new things, and new things maybe they need new information. So I can relate.
The market itself is evolving to, what you trade today is not what you are going to find tomorrow. So you have to adapt the way you trade today and the way you trade tomorrow, so that you can be flexible the market movement.
Very nice, very nice. Now, when you had finished that learning, even though it is a continuous progress, but it reached a moment where you felt like now you are confident, you want to explore now the real trading. Now, like how did you transition now from this learning into the real market? Now, did you go into something like a demo, trying to test out that strategy? Ama you went straight to depositing, and losing? So like now that transition into the market, how did it happen? Did you opt for some demo, or you went for a proper?
For the transition to me trading now from learning, when you're learning first as a beginner, you think to make money, you have to always win. And to me, the moment I realized you don't have to always win, that is when everything changed. Most people think in trading, you just have to win every time so that you can make money, and that's not the case. So the moment I realized trading is just a numbers game, and I usually trade even sometimes demo to this day to collect data on my strategy. How is it performing, in over large sample sets? How is it performing? So that and once you do that, it gives you confidence. Let's say you want to trade a $10,000 account, and you demo and collect that, with your strategy, your edge, and collect that sample size, and you see that, it's profitable. Your strategy is profitable. It gives you that confidence. You feel like now I can do it, and you dive into the market. So that's how it happened. I will trade with demo and treat it like live, which most people don't do. They say, demo, why spend demo, trade on demo, and you can trade on live. But I think demo really helps a lot from not losing money. And again, if you treat it like live, it's, somehow you carry that discipline from demo to live. Most people don't treat demo like live. And let's say if you can't make money from the demo account, heck, how can you expect to make money on a live account where now emotions are involved? You see? So that's how I was able to transition. I treat demo like live and collect the data on my strategy, my edge. And if it's profitable, that's how I was able now to transition. It wasn't hard and it wasn't easy, but yeah.
Yeah, I have also heard those arguments. People say like, demo, you are not able to feel the thrill of the market. There is a point where when you lose money, it gives you some different types of lessons. When you lose or you don't want to lose, you are able to,
The reality is,
gain and learn something.
The reality is, even on demo, it's not good to lose. Let's say if I give you a demo account right now and you lose again and again and again, you won't feel okay and the emotions will eventually hit in. So if you can't manage yourself on a demo, you can't expect to manage yourself on a live account where now the pressure is on. That argument, I know many people argue a lot that demo, doesn't help. But the reality is demo account helps. I would advise anyone, any beginner that wants to do it to try and treat demo like live. Use it to collect data on their strategy. And, it gives you that confidence that you need even psychologically. And once you have confidence psychologically, you eliminate the fear from trading, Now, once you dive to the live account, okay, this is what I expect to happen because this is what I was able to see on the demo account. Now, but if you go now to live without any, it's like you are expecting for something that you don't know even how it's going to unfold.
Okay. Yeah. I think that is spot on. Like, some people, in fact, beginner traders, they may not have that amount of money at their disposal, to be able to lose the deposit or buy a challenge deposit. So even if, those virtual funds also can be able to, help you test out your strategy so that when you are transitioning now into maybe a personal, a real account, you already have the feel of the market. So I can relate to that. Now, like, you learned, you acquired an edge, then, right now you are executing on your edge. Like, I want you now, in terms of maybe a trading plan, you tell us maybe the markets that you're watching, in fact. So share to us maybe the market you are watching, and in terms of your trading now, like, maybe how many trades are you looking to trade in a single day, and maybe cumulatively in a week there?
Okay, so I started by trading Euro USD, but then I transitioned to gold. It's been about a year, only trading just pure gold. I only trade only pure gold, and I will risk for about around 5 months ago. Risk 1% a day, trade only one session, which is the session. But now currently, I trade both session, meaning I risk 2% a day, 1% each session. So, but still, I only trade gold.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how I trade.
So you have talked about you have talked about 1% a trade, 1% a trade. Like, in terms of risk management, like, 1% a trade. So is it a static? Is it a fixed amount of risk? Today is Monday, even if it is Monday, even if it's on Thursday, January, December, you are going in 1%. Ama kuna time yenye inaweza fika like, you have hit some wins here and there, then you will be like increasing your risk to 2%. So does your risk management fluctuate ama ni hiyo constant?
Okay. So for me, I just keep it constant. So if I say, let's say percent, I mean, let's say on a $100,000 account, that is $1,000, just fixed dollar amount. So I don't increase or decrease based on how my performance is. Whether I'm doing good or bad, my risk just stays fixed. If I say I'm only going to risk 1%, it's 1%. If it's 2%, it's 2%. But for the props, which I usually trade props, I only do 1% a trade. And since I'm trading both session, that is 2% a day. So the first session, I take only one trade, which I risk 1%. If I'm down that 1%, I'm done. I wait for the next session.
Okay.
That's it. I know people say that you shouldn't trade every day, every session. But it depends with the person. For me, I'm used to trading that way, and it's profitable. As long as it's profitable for me, I'm okay. I trade both session and every day. Yeah, that's how I trade. I don't look or
Okay.
I don't focus on being right, or I just take the risk as it comes. Whatever unfolds, and I just stack up the wins and the losses. Then at the end of the week or the month, you know what I have achieved.
Very nice. So you have talked about 2 trades a day. So do you limit yourself to a specific number of trades in a day? You tell yourself maybe you are it's a trading day, you are only taking 2 trades. If there are wins, there are losses, it's enough for a trading day. Or you are in the market, even if you have taken those 2 trades, that is 2%. Then when you see other opportunities like some potential A plus setup performing, like you will still enter into the market. So do you limit yourself in terms of the number of trades, or you can trade as much as the opportunities present?
Okay, I limit myself to the number of trades. I trade, let's say during the session I trade from 10 to 12, and during the session I trade from 3:30 to 5 in the evening. So within those time that is when I look for my setup, and I only look for one. So whether it's a win, or a loss, and it might be even a small loss, or just a 1% loss, I don't exceed that. So I just call it a day. Whether an opportunity presents itself again, I call it a day. Because one thing I know, the more trades you take, the more the chances that you are going to, to mess up. And I try to avoid that.
Yeah, I think the more trades you take, that is very true. The more trades you take, the more, you are mentally exhausted. Then you...
Let's say you lose on the first trade, and you want to take another one, the next one that you're taking, the truth is you're not taking it because it's a good trade. Even if it's a good trade, you're taking it because you want to make up for the loss. So psychologically, you're not okay to trade. So I only take that one and move away, whether it's a win or a loss, whether there's another opportunity. And I'm not perfect. Sometimes I end up taking two, but I try as much as possible to limit myself. The goal is not to be perfect always. It's just to minimize those small mistakes.
Yeah. And to learn from them and to improve, from them, then, it places you in a better position. Maybe tomorrow, the day after tomorrow. But that is very interesting there. So, it is a trading day, you have woken up, you are in the market, then you are identifying opportunities you want to trade. So what are some of the things zenye ukiona kwa market they give you confidence that this is an A plus setup? So what are some of the confidence, or what does your A plus setup look like? We ni nini ukiona kwa chart, like when you are doing analysis, ni nini ukiona you feel this confident aje this is a potential good trade?
Okay, first, when I get into the markets, I usually like to look at the daily opening price. The daily opening price shows you, gives you like the direction. I look for the buyers of the 4 hour, and I look also, I also look at the daily, but I usually pay a close attention to the daily opening price, because let's say in the morning during the Asian session, I've told you I trade during London session, but let's say in the morning during Asian session, the market opened and let's say it took out the previous day low, or it was just consolidating, then it took out the lows and the highs depending on the direction that it wants to move to. And then it broke structure and then pulled back to the daily opening price. Price usually reacts from that level and it pulls back a lot. So once I see, let's say, a price make a high, then a low, then breaks the high, then pulls back to even, let's say, 61% fib retracement, and it aligns with the daily opening price. That to me is a very good setup for me.
Okay. So the key indicator for your strategy is the day opening price. So
Okay.
you are heavily
So
dependent on the.
I usually look to buy below the daily opening price or at the daily opening price. That is if I'm buying and vice versa if I'm selling. So to me, those setups are good quality setups. Let's say the market was buying and during, let's say, your session, it just pulled back abruptly up to the daily opening price.
Okay.
To me, now that's a good level to buy from, because, once it gets back to that level, it means that, it has dropped to fill some orders that were not filled, and now it's going to buy.
Okay.
That's where I get in.
Yeah. Interesting. Very interesting. Then, you have talked about something like, you are on the 4 hour, then you are coming down. It's like, you are doing that top-down analysis. Maybe you are using the higher time frame for, the bigger picture, the buyers. Then now you move down to execute. So I want to know, like, after you have done that top-down analysis, on what time frame are you going to execute now?
Okay, I start on the daily for direction, and I look at the 4 hour for buyers, and I drop down maybe to the 1 hour for structure, and I execute on the 5 minute chart. So basically, I just mostly focus on 3 timeframes. Since I'm trading sessions, I just want to know where is price going to go for the next 1, 2, 3 hours. I don't focus on, the whole day. Sometimes I might hold for a whole day, but it depends. Sometimes the market moves slow, sometimes it moves fast. But I usually focus on where it's going for the next 2 to 3 or 4 hours. So I look for my buyers on the 4 hour, then drop to the 1 hour structure, looking where am I going to enter, and then on the 5 minutes, that's where I look for my confirmation and take my trades there. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, you are executing on the 5, then your trades can run even to a whole day. That is interesting.
Yeah.
Then now, when you are you have now identified a setup, then you have entered this setup, and maybe I'm interested, like, how do you do your trade management? Like, do you place your stops, place your targets, and just leave it to chance? Or you'll be there, like, trading your stop loss and maybe taking partials as the market moves in your direction. Like, how do you do your trade management? Do you take partials, or you place your targets, then leave it, for either of them to be triggered?
So before I would use to take a trade, and let's say I'm risking 1%, I used to use this strategy where I would scale into, let's say I open my first trade with a lot size of 0.10. The next one I will open with let's say if the market moves in my favor, let's say a 1-to-1. The next trade I will open with a 0.05, and the next again I'll open with 0.02, but at the same time moving my stop and making sure that the risk is still capped at 1%. So if the market went in my favor, I could make even a potential of 6 to even 8% on one trade. But if it went against me, it was guaranteed that I was only going to lose 1%, But it worked for a while, then I realized it was not working. So because the market will move just a few pips in my direction, then reverse all the way to stop me, and I'll keep on taking the losses, since that system is created on a way that I will only take a loss. So there's no partials, there's no anything. I will only take a loss which will be kept at 1%. But once it goes in the direction, I'll make a lot more. So I shifted to now the way I manage my risk and my trade. Once the market goes 0.5% in my favor, I usually cut my risk by 0.25%. Every time it moves 0.5% in my favor, I cut my risk by 0.25%. But keep in mind, I'm only risking 1%. So most of my trades, I don't usually lose 1%. I usually lose less than 1%. And I take partials. I target a 1 to 4, and I take partials at 1 to 2. I close 50% of my position at 1 to 2, then let the rest run to full take profit. So that's how I manage everything. It's very simple, very straightforward. just take a trade, manage it that way. Every time the market moves, move the stop, cutting the risk. And then, do it long enough, the results show.
Yeah. I think, at all costs, you have to protect your risk. Because, if you want to be in the game, then the risk is the most baseline. You have to protect your risk. And, doing such kind, I think that is a good practice there. But now, talking about a stop loss, I discovered that placing a stop loss in itself is a skill. Like I want now you to tell us, like, how is your stop loss like informed? Like, do you place your stop loss at that level where you are losing that 1%? Or you are placing your stop loss at a price action level. Maybe at a swing low or at a level of support. I don't know. But how is your stop loss, informed? Is it through a minimum dollar amount that you want to lose, or it is anchored on a specific level in price action?
Okay, I take into consideration both of them, price action and the dollar amount, but I don't lose my focus on the dollar amount because that's where my strength is. I don't want to lose more than I make. So for price action, I pay attention to it, but not as much as the way I pay attention to the risk in dollar amount. So I try to look for both of them. Yeah, I know you understand what I mean. Like for price action, I look at a level. These are good level. Calculate my risk, how much I'm risking here, what's the lot size I'm going to use, and
interesting.
Try to balance the two.
Okay, that is interesting. Then now, there are those daily events that happen that drive the market, those news events, So, like, do they affect your trading? Like those read or fold news in a day, or things like NFP. Like, how are they going to affect your trading day? Are you going to avoid them, or there are things that you anticipate because of the volatility that they present? So, how do fundamentals streamline your technique?
Okay, sometimes I'll avoid them. I don't usually trade news. I know it's biased to think of it this way, but I don't pay as much attention on news because I only look at transaction. I know it's crazy, but I don't pay attention at all at news. I just look at it for, I look at something like NFP, the time that is coming out, those things, and maybe trade after it has already hit, but I don't trade them, I just trade the price action the way it's behaving. And sometimes I'll just even place a trade, and once the news hits, sometimes it goes in my favor, sometimes it doesn't. So still, trading is just a probability game. You never know whether it's going to win or to lose. So I try to make trading as simple as possible, and don't complicate a lot of things, because even if you know the news that is coming out, you want to predict the levels that it's going to affect.
Yeah, like, there's no way, and there's nobody who can predict. It is not easy to predict, the direction of the news.
Yeah.
So to be safe, I think even for me personally, I don't trade news. If there is a high impact news, I avoid trading those high impact news. I better wait for that news, to do its thing. Then I will come later when there's clarity of direction, when everything has settled down. But that is interesting. But now I want to know, like, there has been a hype of a ProFarm. This day everybody is on ProFarm, using ProFarm, which I think it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. But for you, what is your style? Are you trading on your personal account, or you are also trying to explore this ProFarm market?
Okay, I have explored the ProFarms, and I still do. A lot of ProFarms, somehow they make you stay disciplined. A lot, and that also transforms to your live account. And Most people who are struggling with this, I think platforms is the way, even though you blow a lot of accounts, but it gives you that discipline you need to manage your own personal accounts. So I trade props and I try to use the profits that I get from my platform accounts to invest on my personal account.
Okay, interesting. Now, which account, which pro farms are you using, and what's your experience? Sababu, pro farms, yes, they are good. They give you that leverage to make a good sum of money, but it is not all pro farms that are there for the interest of the trader, because sometimes some pro farm, they are very fishy rules and all those rules and whatever. So, like, what pro farms are you using, and what's your experience in using those pro farms? Are they giving you payouts? Do they deny you payouts? Talk to us.
Okay. So far, I've only been using FundedNext. That I tried to trade with this platform called Equity, but I didn't get serious with it. So I've used FundedNext for a lot of time now, and I can say it's good because it has never denied me any payout, and the payouts are so fast. They take a very short time to disburse the payouts. And yeah, even the customer service itself is great. The rules too, they are flexible. You also have to look at the rules, the way they are structured. Are they in your favor, against you? So to me, I think it's a good platform.
FundedNext. Yeah. Yeah, in fact, FundedNext is among the best pro farms, because in fact, even on Trustpilot, it is one of the pro farm with the most reviews, most positive reviews, which means that people are having a good experience. I had a challenge with FundedNext, but I blew it, so I've not gone back there.
It's just
yeah. So now, there was a moment when you were struggling, when you were not making money, when you were blowing accounts, here and there, which is normal. It's part of the process. Then now you are in a position, well, you say you are not a pro trader, but you are at least somewhere where you are making some consistent small profits from the market. So if you compare these two time periods, like what is that one or two things that were hindering you from making, progress? Then now when you worked on them, then now over time, you are able now to transition to now at least making some few coins from the market. So what challenges did you struggle with, or did you face during that period in between there?
So first of all, I'll consider myself as a pro trader. Because I'm making money.
Okay.
As someone who is not a pro trader,
interesting,
who is not making money. So to me, answering your question, I think like any other trader, the challenges are the same. Over trading, over risking. Those things that, especially in pro farms, they kill pro farm accounts very fast, like over risking, over trading. Those are the things that kill pro farms account very fast. Some few things, over trading, over risking. What else? Let me see. Not even having a structure. Most people don't have a structure of the way they trade. So I didn't have that kind of structure. Everything changed when I said, I want to make this thing very serious. I now had my own structure. I know when I'm trading. I know when I'm not trading. I know, how much I'm risking before even starting to trade. I know what I'm trading before even I start to trade. You have to kind of know what you're going to do before even starting. So most people just wake up, pick up their phone, and they execute a trade, and they think they are trading, and that's not how it is.
Yeah, that is interesting, because even my next question was like, what are some of the rules that you have confined yourself in between? Because now I realize that with these markets, to avoid random trading, which may lead you to gambling, you must have things that you have to confine yourself in between. Like, you have to trade between a
It's,
particular session.
but then,
You
but
have,
again, that is what I can say. It really made me, become a different trader than I was before. I remember I would just trade anytime. I will even be just chilling and bored and pick up my phone. And once you look at the market, even if there's no opportunity, you're going to see one. That's the reality. So I just tried to limit myself, to a certain period of time, put some rules in place that govern me. I don't break. There are some rules that I'm sure to this moment I can't even break them. They are the rules that they are holding. And there are those that you might break, in some days you might not abide by them, but you just stick with them over the long run and they help you a lot. Let's say like the one I told you, risking 1% a day. Sometimes you might breach that, but it's okay to breach. What's not okay is doing it again and again and again. So I said it's not being perfect, it's just at least knowing what you're doing, trying to minimize the mistakes and having the rules that make you stand out. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Then, I remember you talked about no trading every day. So, like, I don't know, and I have had this thing, like, avoid trading on Monday, avoid trading on Friday. Like, do you have specific days where you avoid the markets totally, and what is the reason behind that? Or, you don't
I don't
experience those. You are in
I
the
don't
market.
I don't have any rule that I avoid. I know most people say
You.
that. Let me tell you. I know people say, let's say,
Mhm,
avoid trading on Monday, avoid trading on Friday. But guess what? Some days those are the days that I make really good profit. And it's true, I have seen that
mm,
the performance is not bad. But still, why would I
mhm,
avoid the day if I can make money? And the reality is, even if you avoid the day, it's not guaranteed if you could have taken the
mhm,
trade you could have lost or you could have won. So to me,
mhm,
I just stay in the flow and take the trade after another, take the trade after another. Win or lose, I still keep on doing what I'm doing. And at the end of the week, I'm profitable.
mhm,
That's the reality. So avoiding, for some people it works. For some people they can't handle it because they start a week red and that they will blow up and overtrade, and they will blow their account. So it depends with the
mhm.
personality of someone. To me, I feel like I want to be in the markets, but being in the market doesn't mean trading every time. That's now why I have my structure trading some specific times and every day.
Mhm. Yeah. You see, you want to trade when those opportunities present themselves. So it's not any spike that you are going to trade.
Yeah,
But we talked about rules, but the rules themselves, they are nothing if you don't have the discipline to follow those rules. And
exactly.
believe me, being disciplined in the market is one of the most difficult things to do. It is not easy you can set for yourself rules, but you just find yourself breaking them the next minute. You know, like for you, is it something that you have experienced there, and how have you, be able to
Okay.
manage that? How do you keep yourself
So okay, I experienced that, and sometimes I also do experience it. That is something that everyone experiences. But being disciplined, to
disciplined?
me, the way I was able to, kind of go through it is, discipline. Let's say if
Hmm.
you have a bad habit, which is over trading, and let's say you decide
Hmm.
one trade a day, that is your rule. You're not going to do it, for the first day, and that is for sure. You will make the mistake. Now, the goal is not to, to be perfect and execute that one trade every day, every day. Sometimes you breach it and take 2, 3 trades. Now, the goal is just to
Mm.
try today, take one, tomorrow take one, and before you know it, it's a habit. You know, building discipline is just building a habit that you follow. The same way you have a habit of, let's say, over risking, you can create a habit of,
Mhm.
being disciplined and sticking to a certain percentage risk. I remember with over risk, at the beginning when I started trading. But when I decided, I'll start now to be risking 1%. And guess what? Now to this day, if I've decided I'm risking 1%, I can't go above that. To me, I think that is what has helped me the most than anything. The risk management. And to me, my edge is at risk management. I try to lose as less as possible and make as much as possible, Yeah. So this plan is just building a habit.
Interesting. Because now, when you are losing, you want to lose small amounts. But now, when you are winning, you want to milk the market as much as it is possible. Get big wins there. So that is interesting. But again, everybody's in the markets to win. But the reality of the market is that it is not every day you will present yourself, then you are hitting those consistent wins.
Exactly.
You must. The nature of the market is that you must be stopped in one point in time by the market. So, for you, when you are experiencing these losses, how are you going to respond to these losses? Or, specifically now I want to a losing streak, because sometimes you may have those consistent losses. Like, do you remove yourself from the markets, unachana market to go and rethink, test your strategy? Like, how do you respond to a losing streak when you are experiencing one?
Okay, so everyone, when he's going through a losing streak, usually just feel bad and you just feel like getting back to the market and try to return what you just lost. For me, that's why I told you I have a structure that I follow, trading at a certain time and taking one trade. So if I lose, I just walk away and come back again. So if I also lose, I walk away. So that time that I'm not on the market creates for me time to keep my mind clean to show up again. And showing up again doesn't mean I show up while I can't remember the loss, or I can't think about it. I just think about it, but I try as much as possible to just execute without even getting attached to the previous losses and just keep executing, because the reality is you are not made to lose on every trade. There is that one that is going to come along. So you just have to keep on executing this plan. So everyone goes through a losing streak. It's just how you handle it. And for example, the person who trades every time, every hour, if you're going through a losing streak and you're trading every hour, every time, it's like you're on the markets from morning to evening without a break, you'll blow up an account. And that's the only way to deal with the losing streak. Just stepping away.
Yeah. Interesting. So the market, when you have been in the market for a good time, when you have experienced, all these cycles of the market, it may look like it is easy, but it is not easy. In fact, that's why statistically, if you look at the Forex market, yes, it is the only industry with like 99% failure rate. It is only like 1% of people who are able to consistently make something from the market. So, like, I'm interested, like, in your opinion now, why do you think it is this hard? Like, why is it even easier to be a doctor, to spend 7 years to be a doctor, than to spend those, several years to be a Forex trader? So what is this one thing or two things that, in your opinion, you think makes, this Forex or trading in general very difficult to grasp?
So many people can't handle losses. That's the truth. If someone comes to the market, let's say, that's why someone needs first to learn, like maybe even try trading on demo. And if you come to the market and start risking, you kind of lose that passion for it very fast, and you end up quitting. And the 99% that people say that they lose, I believe those are the people who quit. Let's say if a newbie comes today and loses money, tries again and loses money and quits, you will be part of the 99%. You only quit once you give up. That's the truth. But when you keep on going, eventually it will click and you will understand how the game is played. So the people who lose, I think that percentage amounts to the people who quit. Because the industry itself is so hard and many people can't handle losses.
Yeah. Yeah. The nature of Forex is not like any other field. In fact, like normally in other things you are told the more you do of something, it makes you a pro. But now with the Forex market, the more you do, maybe the more you intake a lot of information,
And
it
in trading,
works against you. It places you in that information paralysis. You know many things, then you can't decide on what to execute on. Then it keeps you in the series of losing there. So that is interesting.
and also in trading, you learn by losing. So you learn by losing, man. You don't just learn by
And it
winning.
is not comfortable. And
So it's not comfortable to do. So if someone comes today and he doesn't know anything about trading and just starts taking random trades because he sees someone else making money, yet he doesn't know the person has been on the industry for how long. Some have been for years and now they have an edge compared to someone who just came today to the markets and started taking random trades. You're going to lose even if you get that beginner's luck. It's sure that at some point you lose the money. And yeah, that's many people quit because of that. They can't handle the pressure that comes with this. Yeah.
yeah. Now, talking about quitting and this thing being hard, like personally for you, like has it ever reached a moment where you feel like, hey man, I may need something else to do? Imei kufikisha kwa age kabisa you feel like, man, hii kitu zi.
Okay. Honestly, there was a time I traded $1,000 account, prop farm account, and then
Okay.
I got some few payouts, upgraded to a $50,000 account, again got some few payouts. Then now I upgraded to a 200K account. And I was targeting a bigger, to get funded with multiples accounts. And on the 200K account, I lost it. I lost the account. And you know that it cost a lot of money. That is around 130,000 Kenyan shilling. So once I lost it, I just felt so bad. You can imagine losing that amount of money, even though it was part of the profits that I had made, but it feels bad. I guess the reason I lost that is because, trading a bigger capital is not like trading a $5,000 account. You have now to look at the big losses. There are 1,000, 2,000s. And when you lose, let's say 5, 6 times in a row, it's hard to stay disciplined to get that win to push you up. So at that point, I felt bad. Honestly, I was so down, but I never thought about quitting because I knew if I could get there, I could get even way more up. And I'm still going. So I'll never quit because the results that I've gotten, I know I can get far compared to where I am.
Yeah, you have already seen potential. So even if you lost 200, it was from the profits from the market.
Yeah.
It is painful to give back, but once you have made a withdrawal, then you can you feel the reality of the market. So, and I think what worked against you to lose that 200 account is that you upscaled quick.
Yeah, exactly. That's
you
one thing
need
that made me lose. I scaled very fast and I couldn't handle the pressure, the pressure of the big losses.
Yeah. Maybe it's supposed to go kidogo kidogo too. But how does your typical trading day look like? When it is maybe on a Monday, you want to place trades. Do you have something like a routine that keeps you in sync with what you're going to do? Okay, tell us, how does your typical trading day look?
Okay, so for me, it's just like any other normal day. I just wake up, but what I don't usually like to do is to wake up and look at the charts at the very beginning. So I usually try to wait for, some days I will look at my phone and look at what is going on, but I usually try to wait for my trading time to hit before me diving into the market. So that is around 10 during London session. And yeah, so once I get into the market, I analyze, I try to look for that opportunity. Once I have gotten one, I've taken the trade again. Once it gets, sometimes I might even trade for 1 hour, sometimes 30 minutes. It depends on the market and how fast they can. And that's the good thing of trading one pair. You kind of know where it's easy to identify where it's moving to and where it's moving from. So you don't have to spend a lot of time analyzing. The more you analyze, the more you are going to have confusions. Yeah, so I just try to take as less time as possible. Sometimes I analyze for 30 minutes, take my trade, and wait for the results. And then I take a break and then come back in the evening to trade the New York session. And then same structure. Then I call it a day. Whether it was a win or a loss, I just call it a day. But one thing I know, my loss will never go below 2%. It will never go above 2% for the day. Sometimes most of the time it's usually even less than 2% because of my risk.
That's good. That is very commendable. Then I don't know. You trading, you have to trade like a business. You have to know what you're doing. You have to keep your records. Like in terms of now a journal, I'm interested. Like, do you use a journal, and what type of data is important in your journal? What are you recording down in your journal?
Okay.
Walk us through.
Okay, so I journal, but I don't make it complicated. I just journal what I did right, what I did wrong, and how I can improve. Let's say, for example, the way I was telling you today, let's say today I broke my risk rule, and not risk, but trade rules. I ended up taking, let's say, more than 2 trades. And that's something I'll note down, and I'll pay close attention on the next session of trading or the next day. So I try to focus on what I did right and what I did wrong. Most people they focus so much on what they did wrong. They forget they did some good things. Let's say if you're trading and you manage to take 1% risk for the day, and you ended up taking more than 2 trades, but still capped that risk at 1%. To me, that is a good trading day because you manage the risk well, even though you broke the rule of taking 1 trade a day. So yeah, I try to. That's what kind of I do.
Yeah. So you are learning from both your strengths and your weaknesses. Like you don't beat yourself too much, but again, when you are doing something good, you want to commend yourself because
that's good.
Interesting. That's nice. That's good. Then now you said you bought a 200k account from some profits, like from the market from previous account.
Yes.
So I want to know, like, what is your biggest withdrawal from the market, and what did you do? Like when we withdrew that amount from the market, in real life, what was that amount, and what was your mindset? Now, what did you do with that sum of money?
Okay, so the biggest withdrawal to this moment is not much, but it's around $5,000. That was my biggest withdrawal on a $50,000 account. It's not even on a big account, it's just on a $50,000 account. And the thing that I remember is I just bought myself a motorbike. To me, that's like an investment. So every day it gets to pay me, because I quit my job that I was being paid around 10,000 Kenyan shillings to just trade, and the salary that I've been paid is what I used to purchase that 5K account. So managing to level up very fast on getting to a 200K and getting that kind of I bought that motorbike so that if I'm a border and it's paying me daily, roughly on a month it pays me around 12K a month. And I also opened a business of car wash, opened a car wash and also, like
you are a serious entrepreneur, man. You are a serious investor.
So I tried to make things, work in my favor since I don't have a job anymore.
Yeah, so you had to leave your job.
I left my job to trade, and the salary I got paid is what I used to buy the 5K accounts.
So at what level did you quit your job? You had to you had your job, then you were on the market, Then at a level where you were profitable, when you had made some good withdrawals, then when you decided to leave your job, right?
No. I quit before even getting one withdrawal. So, you just get to a point where that's why I told you, treating demo like a live account really helped me a lot. So I would treat it like a live account. No over risking, no over trading,
Okay.
keeping to my rules. And at the end of the week, at the end of the month, I will see, okay, I've made this kind of profit, 10%, 12%, depending on the percentage. And that's when I started realizing that, trading is not about focusing on that one big that will get you out. It's just stacking those small wins. And I was confident enough I was going to, to pass that account. And once I got paid, I just took the risk, bought the account, quit my job, and I went into trading full time. And I'm still doing it up to today.
That is a very commendable, interesting there. So that was a big risk there, because what if Kuramba Sasa? You could have gone back again to work to get that money.
I quit the first time. I used to work at a couch, which also that is what made me open a couch, because I saw how profitable it was. I used to work at our couch, and I quit. I remember I quitted and tried to buy an account. I failed it for the first time. And I was trading without a job. When I started seeing the results, I decided, let me get this job to get the money to fund my account. And once I got paid my first salary, that's when I quit. I didn't even continue doing the work. I just got my first salary and quit.
You can't be laboring and interesting. Then now I think we are almost on the tail end of this, but I want to just ask you two questions to Kimalizianga. So I want to know, there is this one trading resource yenye umetumia and it has elevated you to this position where you are making some withdrawals from the market. So what is this one resource? Can be maybe a psychology book, can be a channel. What is this one thing yenye without it?
Okay. So to me, honestly, it's just risk management. That is the only thing that to this day I still pay attention to, risk management. Hiyo ndio tu naweza sema imenifikisha kwenye niko. Risk management kabisa. Because without it, I don't think even I could have been able to scale my account that fast. So the risk management really helped me a lot, and also managing my, once you also people try to understand yourself and trader when you are not trading well, what makes you not trade well, the mistakes, those small mistakes that make you blow up, and and try to manage them, because there's always a pattern. And that once you break that pattern, it's just going away.
Okay, interesting. Then now the last question is, you have been in the market for 2 years now. You have gained that experience, So for if you had to go back, if you had to start afresh, what are some of the things that you may do different yenye una feel like if you do it the correct way yenye unajua sahi, it can be able to reduce that struggle?
Okay, if I go back, I'll just not put more pressure on myself, to make it within a year, a month, and just focus on the long term goal. I'm in this game for the long term, not the short term. Most people focus on making profit this month, but they forget, the long term, and not putting too much pressure on yourself, but yet still trying to, learn and improve. I think that is what.
Correct. That is interesting. I'm very sure it has been a good ride. Some people there at home will find value from this, and I want to appreciate you for coming on, and I want to appreciate you for being generous and sharing all this value. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of this episode. If you like the episode, you can give me a thumbs up. You can also not forget to subscribe. Yeah, I don't know if, I don't want to close up on you. If you have maybe a last thing, maybe an advice you can give somebody who is beginner trader before we close it up?
Okay, one advice I would just advise anyone that to know that trading is just a numbers game and not try to rush the process. Once you start learning trading, even if you are seeing that it's hard right now, once you start learning, you just start understanding things, and give it time. Things will click. And it's just a journey of learning and improving. It's not something that you just get to a certain destination, like, I made it. Just keep on learning and improving.
Okay, it is not a day thing. It takes time. That is interesting. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was my time. Until next time, God bless.